Modern fantasy anime sucks dick. I'm not the only one who's noticed this. Don't say that I'm in the wrong. That's bullshit. Ever since Isekai wormed this way into the genre, shit has been going left all over. It's been so bad that they started making fantasy anime about the most mundane shit that doesn't matter. Look, not my point, alright? That's an entirely different argument altogether. The point is that I love fantasy anime as a genre, and what we get now, it's mostly bullshit. So of course, naturally, it falls on to me, your favorite monarch, to give you a list of fantasy anime that do not suck. Look, before we jump into it, just understand there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of fantasy anime. If you are in the comment section saying, why didn't I mention X, Y, and Z? Well, motherfucker, it wouldn't be much of a recommendation if you already know about this shit, now would it? Some motherfuckers always want to ice skate uphill. You know what, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to be doing like actual real shit. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's kick this off with one that I'm pretty sure a lot of people will recognize. Fate Stay Night. Now, this is going to be contentious for the fact that Fate Stay Night is a massive fucking series. That being said, the only series that you should be watching within this entire franchise would be Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Maybe the original Fate Stay Night. I wouldn't recommend it, but watch it if you're trying to get a feel for it. So essentially, this takes place in a Japanese city where a bunch of mages get together and have this event called the Holy Grail War. They summon spirits, heroic spirits from the past, and they duke it out. Like, it's basically magic Pokemon at this point. You summon the spirit, they fight each other, and the victor, you know, to the victor goes the spoils. And they're all trying to get their hands on the Holy Grail, which is a magical object which allows them one wish. But if you are into power fantasies, then definitely check this one out. Next we have up is Hell's Paradise, which is probably going to be the newest title on this list. A group of convicts get the opportunity to receive a full pardon by joining in on an expedition to a mysterious island in search of an elixir of life. Now, I haven't seen the whole series because I started watching it like a couple weeks ago when I was out of town, but man, the art direction is dope, the fight scenes are dope, the main character, fucking dope, and there's a lot of funny shit that's in it. So, hey, so check this one out. It's full of blood and sauce. And here in the Crown Mile, we deal in two kinds of currency, blood and sauce. So definitely check this one out. Next we have up is a bit of an oldie, Claymore. Basically, on this mysterious continent, the populace are plagued by creatures known as yokai. And in order to kill the yokai, they hire the services of a Claymore, a monster slayer who themselves are part yokai. But as the series progresses, we start learning more about the yokai, about their origins and the origins of the Claymores, the monster slayers who kill the yokai. And we learn more about the mysterious organization that backs the Claymores. But essentially, the story centers around one of these Claymores and her child companion as they travel the countryside fleeing yokai. It's a very interesting story. This was made back in like the mid-2000s, but it's still dope, and definitely check it out if that's your thing. Alright, next title we have up is Lord Marksman and Vanadis. This series, I feel like, is underrated. Like, it's underrated in the sense that it falls outside the sort of mainstream, contemporary, sort of cookie-cutter version of a fantasy anime that most people are used to. Like, this anime came out around the time where every other anime was starting to become an Isekai fantasy anime. It was weird, but this is really dope. So it takes place in a fictionalized version of Europe. The main character is a count who is a skilled archer, and he gets captured by one of the generals of the enemy army that he was fighting against. Now, this general is what's known as a war maiden. War maidens are basically female warriors who are granted special powers through the use of like specially made weapons. But even though that the main character is captured the war maiden who captured him is actually in love with him. So then we see this relationship kind of bloom. Then on the flip side, there's a whole coup d'etat conspiracy happening back in the main character's country. So then he starts butting heads with other dukes and such. This is a very war-driven series. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of comedy in it, and you see that from the interactions between the main character and the other women that inevitably surround him. But mostly what's interesting is like the whole military aspect of it. It's really dope, it's really interesting, and it's a really different take from a lot of other fantasy anime, and it is definitely worth watching. Okay, last title that I'm going to suggest is Hellsing Ultimate, which is going to be the bloodiest and sauciest title on this list. Now, Hellsing Ultimate centers around an organization known as the Hellsing Organization. I know, original title. Anyway, their job is to protect Great Britain from the threat of vampires. And in their arsenal is one individual being by the name of Alucard, who is basically a vampire who hunts other vampires. And he gets lauded as like the dog of the Hellsing organization, but the reality is, Alucard is the baddest motherfucker who ever walked the earth. Which makes the fight scene so dope when he steps on and he just fucks shit up with reckless abandon. Like, this is a dark fantasy among dark fantasies. Berserk is the ultimate dark fantasy, but Hellsing is definitely close right there with it. Definitely top 5. So with vampires, blood, and sauce is your thing, definitely check out Hellsing Ultimate. But so long as isekais are remotely popular, I doubt that we'll see unique titles like this come up very often. So do you agree with any of my picks? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that's all the time I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Remember to abuse that sub button, caress that like button, and as always, keep the crowns crooked and stay classy. Deuces.